from PRX.
Friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for the podcaster who's here to put you to sleep and take you for a walk. It's time for one of these sleep with me, walk with me episodes. I don't know where you're hearing this, but I'm glad you are. This is welcome to Sleep With Me. It's if you've never listened before, you're in for an interesting thing that hopefully is a treat. It's a treat to have you here, where this particular episode I'm going to walk in the snow and just talk. I'll just talk, just like we're walking together. You don't have to do any walking. You could listen to this while you're walking if you want to supplement your walk with walking with somebody, or you could listen to this to fall asleep or relax. And I'm just going to be here to talk to you and take your mind off of stuff, keep you company, like a friend who's a little bit, I'm not great at facts, but I'm great at talking for about 40 minutes or so after this intro. And yeah, the way the show works is just takes your mind off stuff so you could fall asleep, or to give you company in the deep dark night, however you feel. Oh wow, there's a beautiful, beautiful bird flying by during our intro. I'm not even sure what kind, but it's a larger bird. Wow. Gorgeous, powerful birds coming into this intro because they want to help you fall asleep. Or maybe they're just like, hey, it's time for me to, the circle life type stuff. It hasn't done any circle life type stuff. It's just patrolling. So, yeah, I'm just going to walk in the snow and talk to you. What we got coming up, if you're listening to this ad-supported version of the podcast, we'll have some support. So paying for the podcast is optional. This could also be bonus content. There might not be any ads. If you support the show directly. Then we'll have an intro. Tonight's intro will be a little bit shorter than normal. But the intro is kind of meant to ease you off into sleep. Listen to while you get ready for sleep to help you wind down. And then we'll have me walking in the snow, talking to you about what I see, and just to be here for you like your friend in the deep dark night. So I'm glad you're here. I really appreciate you coming by. I really hope I can help you fall asleep. And we do it together. And people, if you're new, don't worry about it. But if you're a regular listener, that's really how we do it. Like, the main way we produce the show is the people that support the show directly. Then there's people that support the sponsors whose ads I read, and then there's the other support we get. So we do it together so that everybody can benefit, and it's a great thing. So you don't have to participate. You can participate, and if you just want to drift off, we do that because of people that choose to opt in, kind of that stuff. So I'm glad you're here, and here's a couple of examples of how we're able to be here for you twice a week or more.
Sleep With Me podcast is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy to see if you could save when you bundle your home and auto policies. Try it at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states. We're trying this new thing called No Stone Unturned, where I'm going through these testimonials from real listeners who benefit from the show and looking at, hey, I know I benefit from the show. I know it makes my life better, but there was this one thing standing in my way of supporting it directly. So if this is the thing standing in your way, listen up. If you can afford to support the show, it makes your life better. If you rely on the show relies on you. All right, this is from Laura. You said, I decided to support the show because I was using it enough to sleep and it was valuable to me, just like any other thing that would help me get to sleep. I tend to think if something is valuable and useful enough to me, I should support it so it doesn't go away. As a content creator myself, I know most people consume my content for free. I also know without the support of quite a few people, I wouldn't be able to continue to do so. So I get it, and I hope other people do. The biggest obstacle to me for supporting the show was that I only have so much money to spend, and there are many things I'd like to support. However, as you point out, sleep is crucial to our health, our happiness, and without it, it's going to be tough. So I prioritize to Sleep With Me for support. And I empathize with you as a content creator who wants to try to do something useful for the world. So it made me feel like it was the right thing to do by supporting the show because it's something that benefits my life quite a bit. So if you identify with what Lori says, you get a lot out of the podcast. You just want ad-free content. You want you want more stuff. And you want the podcast to be here for you to keep making your life better. And then as a result, you get to help out a lot of other people that can't support the show. But it really comes down to that. That's the only question. Like, are you listening to me? Are you hearing me? Just sleep with me, make your life better. Do you count on it? Go to sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. Thanks so much. Oh, Mystery Bard. A lot of people help out on this show. Who are they?
Chris Posty Poster Son sounds like an earful. Wrote the theme song. Edits episodes. Carl W. the Legend. Also edits episodes. Ashley, Kenny, Scotty, Jennifer. Runner. Eric and the team at Astound are on the website. I am the Mystery Bard. I do the lullabies, yeah. I do commissions at JonathanMann.net. I'll write a song for you. Any reason at all. You can tell me the story and I'll make it personal. You see the kindness shine straight on through when the listeners form their own Facebook group. Keith, Stacy, Sarah, Julie, and Jennifer. These are your moderators. Get support dear Scooter on Patreon. Buy the merch and support the sponsors. You can find anything you want at sleepwithmepodcast.com. And we're so proud that we could dance. Rusty Biscuit, Lois, Hannah like banana. Leah does the transcripts.
Thanks, Mystery Bard. And don't forget, the most comfortable way to listen to Sleep With Me is with sleep phones. You can get Sleep With Me merch, Sleep With Me branded sleep phones at sleepwithmepodcast.com/sleep and use Sleep With Me at checkout to get $5 off your order. The only way you can get the Sleep With Me merch editions is sleepwithmepodcast.com/sleep. Thanks, everybody. What do you say we slow it down and get on with the show?
Hey, are you up all night tossing, turning, mind racing, trouble getting to sleep, trouble staying asleep? Well, welcome. This is Sleep With Me, Walk With Me edition. The podcast that can put you to sleep or keep you company on a walk or during the day. But it's mainly the podcast that puts you to sleep. We do it with a bedtime story. All you need to do is get in bed, turn out the lights, and press play. I'm going to do the rest. What I'm going to attempt to do is create a safe, snoozy place for you to fall asleep and take your mind off of whatever's keeping you awake. That could be thoughts, things on your mind, thoughts, could be feelings, anything coming up for you emotionally, physical sensations, changes in time, temperature, routine. You could be going through something. You could be getting over something. Whatever it is, I'm here to keep you company and take your mind off the stuff so that you could fall asleep, or so that it's feels a little bit better in the deep, dark night. I'm here to kind of relieve some of whatever it is that's keeping you up, or the feelings you have when you can't sleep and you want to sleep, or you need a break during the day. So I'm really glad you're here. The way it works, why do I make this show? That's a kind of important thing. Kind of talked about it just there, but the reason I make this show is, one, because I've been there, and this show is kind of like there's a community around the show, but you don't have to be a part of the community, but you could feel like a part of the community. I don't know if that's the best way to describe it, but there's a lot of people that have been listening to the show for a long time that are glad you are here, whether you're coming back or you're new. They hope this podcast can help you out like it's helps them out. Like, there really is people rooting for you right now, lying in their beds, and they're like, man, maybe if this show helps you like it helps me, you'll be here rooting for people, new people or regular listeners or returnees, that you get the relief that they get in the deep, dark night, the sense of comfort, the sense of distraction, the sense of friendliness, whatever it is. And you can passively root for people. That's the best part about this show. You don't really have to actively root for people. You can just be like, yeah, glad you're here, and you don't even have to feel that welcome, especially if you're new. But the power of the welcomeness is that people have been in the same situation or similar situation to what you've been in. Like somewhere in the world right now is someone listening who can really relate to whatever it is that's keeping you awake. There's enough people listening. And those are the people rooting for you because they get it when most people don't. And most people, or a lot of people, will be dismissive or not understand. There's people listening right now that get it and they are glad you're here. And they hope the show can help you out. The other reason I make the show, not only because I know what it's like in the deep dark night, is because I really believe you deserve a good night's sleep. You deserve a place where you get the rest you need so your life is more manageable. And that tomorrow's more manageable. And that ideally you get the rest you need on a regular basis. You be out there flourishing. That's important, and our world needs you, but I want you to be able to enjoy your life a little bit more, right? Now, this show doesn't work for everybody, so we have a website set up, sleepwithmepodcast.com/no thank you, that you could check out if this show does not work for you. But give it a few tries and see how it goes. It does take some getting used to, and I'll talk about that a little more. But the way the show works is I send my voice across the deep, dark night. I'm going to use lulling, soothing, creaky, dulcet tones, pointless meanders, and superfluous tangents, which means I'm going to go off topic. I'm going to get mixed up. I'm going to repeat myself. I'm going to struggle to describe simple things like sticks or rocks. But it's all for a sense of comfort and distraction, friendly comfort and distraction. So just see how it goes. Like if you get here, why wouldn't you be skeptical or doubtful, right? You've been trying to find something to fall asleep. You're struggling to fall asleep. Somebody recommended this show, or you found it by searching for sleep or whatever. Just give the show a few tries because it does take some getting used to. And that's just what regular listeners say. Like, oh man, at first when I listen to this podcast, it's like, what is this guy? Is this guy really just walking in the snow? And he's like a little bit out of breath. And I say, oh yeah, am I? That's a sleep podcast. But you say, at some point, ideally, you wake up the next day and you're like, oh wait, then I woke up. I had no idea he stopped talking. So see how it goes. Most people, regular listeners say it took 2 or 3 tries, and then I realized, oh, he's like serious about not being serious. So, I don't know. It's just a different kind of podcast, right? If you already know, or you figure out you don't know, use sleepwithmepodcast.com/no thank you. So you find something that does work for you. But I am glad you're here. What else do you know? Most people don't like the show. It takes some getting used to. This is a podcast you don't really listen to. You kind of just barely listen to it. So it's almost like passive listening, but not quite. Like having a TV show on in the other room or on your phone under your pillow. That's not super engaging, but it's just engaging enough to say, oh, okay, it takes your mind off whatever's keeping you awake. So it's a podcast you barely listen to. It's also a sleep podcast that's been around for a long time, but I'm not actually here to push you to sleep. There's no pressure to fall asleep with the show. I'm going to be here about an hour. This is an outdoor episode, so I honestly know it'll be exactly an hour, but most episodes are an hour over an hour, but this will be pretty close. So you don't have to worry about when you're going to fall asleep. And what else? Oh, like I'm not really here to put you to sleep. I'm here to keep you company while you fall asleep, because there's people who are listening who can't sleep at all or who need a break during the day. And I don't know. I think that looseness is one of the things that works about the show, because I'm not a sleep guru, and I'm not here to tell you this is what I'm going to do to put you to sleep. I'm just here to be your friend in the deep, dark night. Your boar friend, your boar bae, your boar sib, your boar bud, your neighbor, your boar bee, your boar bestie, your best boar friend forever, to keep you company and take your mind off of stuff so you could fall asleep. So that's one thing. What else? The structure of the show. The structure of the show is a little bit different too. The show starts off with a greeting, so you feel seen and welcomed in. And then there's support, so paying for the show's optional. If you're something without ads, you can get that on Sleep With Me Plus. But most people prefer to listen to this ad-supported version. Then there's a long, meandering intro, which is meant to ease you into bedtime versus put you to sleep. We also have a story-only show that's available in every podcast app. But most people like having this wind-down period. But just see how it goes as you become a regular listener. But that's the intro part that we're just finishing up now. And there'll be a bedtime story, or tonight it'll be a winter walk. I don't know if I said a winter wonderland, but it was wonderful. And yeah, that's it. I think trying to think of anything else you need to know. I mean, I'm really glad you're here. I work really hard. You're in Strive. We really want to help you fall asleep. Oh yeah, and we're always looking to put out different style episodes. So like these walking episodes, they're a little bit more experimental. And sometimes we put them out on our subscription program and kind of see what happens. But you never know what's going to help comfort people in the deep, dark night. So I never stop trying because I've been there. And I never stop trying to solve this puzzle of what is the variety of stuff I can make so you feel seen and comforted in the deep, dark night. And so you could drift off. Or if this episode doesn't work for you, in a couple days, something totally different is going to come out. But then I'm here on a regular basis for you to keep you company. So I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for coming by. And you're in a Strive to help you fall asleep. And here's a couple of ways we're able to do it for you twice a week. Or now in 2025, during the busiest times of the year, 3 times a week. Thanks.
All right, we're trying this new thing called No Stone Unturned, where I'm going through these testimonials from real listeners who benefit from the show and looking at, hey, I know I benefit from the show. I know it makes my life better, but there was this one thing standing in my way of supporting it directly. So if this is the thing standing in your way, listen up. If you can afford to support the show, it makes your life better. If you rely on the show relies on you. All right, this one comes in from Steve from Ohio. I made a decision to support the show with my hard-earned money because it simply helped me. I tried a lot of different products to sleep and plans, and they didn't work. My biggest obstacle was giving money to something that was free, right? And that's a pretty common thing. Why would I do that? But I tried the 7-day trial, and that helped my decision because I was able to check out everything on Sleep With Me Plus, all the different options. And it feels great to support the show because it's definitely worth keeping it. And Scooter's doing what he does best, leading the podcast. But at first I was skeptical. I really like the Read With Me episodes. And I like the main ad-free podcast without the singing and the ads. So thank you so much, Steve. If you identify with what Steve said, support the show back, sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. And I can be here for you on a regular basis. Thanks.
Hi, everybody. It's Scoots here. And I'm walking in the snow. So I'm thinking I'll either release this in the summertime or the wintertime. It is, can hear the snowpack below me. We'll talk more about it. I'm in central New York. It is cool, or cold, but not freezing cold. I think it's about 3:30 p.m. and got the kind of typical central New York gray winter sky, which I hadn't. This is like the first winter experience I've had in, I think it's over 11 years, but it may be over even. I don't know if I've been here in the wintertime since my daughter was born, but there may have been one time I was here since my daughter was born in the wintertime, but I don't recall it. So, yeah, I'm going to we're going to do a little winter walk, and I'll keep an eye on the distance. So if you decide to go for a walk while we're walking, this episode probably had a shorter intro, just like a behind the scenes. I'll do the intro at the end so that I'll know what the walk is. But yeah, the snow is like kind of I guess it was once wet snow because maybe it was above freezing, but now it's below freezing again, but it's not frozen. Anyway, it turns out I'm not good at describing snow. I'm entering the first set of like small woods. I guess this might be bigger than a copse, which I'm always COPSE, right? I'm always like, what's a copse of trees? How many trees make up a copse of trees? Just makes you think the trees. Who are you calling a copse of trees over here? Or a grove? I would almost. Well, how many trees do you think? It'd be tough to estimate. There's 5 there. So I guess there's probably 50 trees in a 100 feet, 200 feet. 200 feet. You think it's 200 feet or 100 feet? It's definitely not 300. I'd say 200 feet by 20 feet, you think? Maybe 30? And it's on a hill. I'm going to be going up the hill. If you're here, I'll try to do all the uphilling at the beginning of this. Well, there's a lot of low, maybe former seedlings of pine trees right here in the center of this grove. Sorry, I'm just placating the trees. It turns out that they didn't want to be called a copse. Maybe a copse is like less than 20 trees. I have snow boots on, 2 pairs of wool socks, a nice jacket, mittens, a hat, like something around my neck. I have, what do you call those things you put on your legs? Underpants? No. Why can't I think of it? Oh, thermal underwear? I don't know if it's thermal. But long underwear, that's what they call them. It's like underwear, but it's long. It's a bit of exercise. A lot of older trees underneath the snow, or former trees. Branches, they're called. Okay. And I did do a location scout and actually go through this tree thing, but got some rabbit prints I'm following right now. But yeah, so I did navigate this area 2 days ago, and I said this would be perfect for a walk in the snow together. The sleepy rhythm of scoots lumbering through the snow. Now, right now I'm under a pair of trees. Are you too few to be a copse? And these are pine type trees, evergreen trees. Alright, I'm out of the trees, and I'm going to be headed across another, not icy expanse, but snowy fields, I'd say. But this is an area close to my childhood home. And the last time I was here, this is like, there's a lot of hills. So we would come sledding here as kids. No kids sledding today, though. It's Saturday. I don't know why. And then, but I'm trying to think. So probably the last time I was here, I guess I was here with my daughter, because I think I remember her going sledding. But I don't know when that was. And then I think I would come here incredibly infrequently. And when I say incredibly infrequently, I mean probably 3 times in my life. My mom had a pair of cross-country skis. And so I'd come here and cross-country ski. But as a kid, I would come to this area because it has woods, and in the snow, it feels like it was perfect for imagination play, particularly one of the areas of imagination play I like to play, which was alone. Though I could imagine I did it with my friends or siblings too, where you're pretending you're on some sort of adventure. And right now, our adventure is just walking and me carrying off into dreamland. Snow walking. Would you need snowshoes? I've never worn snowshoes before, so I don't know. I mean, they would definitely make it. This isn't so deep. You need snowshoes. But I wonder what it would be like with snowshoes. Oh, by the way, this is recorded in binaural audio, which means that it's like stereo. There's kind of a mic in each of my ears. So if you were listening to it that way, you'd hear it. You'd hear my left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot in both your ears. Let's keep I don't think we'll be able to keep a rolling count, but we could try so to my right is woods. So there's a lot of trees, not just, and they stretch and go. I actually went in these woods. Maybe we'll go in them when I was location scouting. I was thinking we could keep an eye on squirrel and bird nests. Right now I see for certain, because there's no leaves on the trees, it makes it easy. These woods do not have any evergreen trees. So I see 1, 2, 3 for sure. I saw one earlier, but we didn't really count it, so probably accident. Oh no, is that another one too? Tough to say if that's just. There's some that are definitely either bird or squirrel nests. I don't know, are they occupied in the winter? I've seen squirrels about, so I'd assume so. But I don't like to assume. Oh no, so that is one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just in this small area. So yeah, I've been cross-country skiing a couple times here, and a couple important observations I've had on this trip. By the time you're hearing this, unless we put it out early, which is always possible too, Canada geese. A lone one. I hear you, bud. Yeah, flying solo, eh? Did you not fly south for the winter or what? Okay. So we're lucky in the sense that most of the people here have said, like, it's been a while since they've had a winter with a lot of snow. Which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because part of the reason I'm here is, like, evaluating where I'm going to live. But so I guess that's what I was saying, is by the time this is released, maybe I'll be like, living in central New York or not. I don't know. And my daughter's trying to figure out where she's going to go to school, and trying to figure out where I'm going to live. And I've lived in the Bay Area for a long time, and it's quite expensive, to be honest. And it's like I guess, and I've lived there a long time. So those things, because I'm like, or would I live in another city? So I don't know. But I guess I had one really big question. There's another two more nests, but I lost count. Also, I don't know if you're listening back there. The snow depths, my left and right leg are much different. So my left leg is sinking much more than my right. So I know that I'm a person that likes, I'm not a sunbather, but I do like being exposed to sunshine. And so that was like has been a big concern of mine, because it's like, how's that going to affect my well-being, right? And so I guess I don't have a clear answer to that, but I have a clearer answer, because this is a gray day, but technically there's also some blue sky, and I'm outside, and I'm not outside in the sunshine, but there is like, I feel like, exposure to sunlight, but I don't know. I haven't looked up the facts. But like if I'm working by a window with this kind of gray light, and I'm and then going for walks outside, well, that it won't be the same as living in the Bay Area, obviously, or California, but what would that mean? What would that be like? And something I don't have the answer for currently. But that, I guess, like, maybe I will. Alright, so I'm continuing to walk. I did just hear either a bird or a squirrel or a chipmunk make a little peep, and we heard that Canada geese. But it is pretty quiet. I hear a plane, traffic. I'm up on a hill, and I can kind of see the entire, or a large part of, actually central New York, this part of central New York's region. I mean, if I had my binocs with me, I could see pretty far. I'm pretty sure I could see the Tug Hill Plateau, but that's something I've always wanted to get to know better. Facts. Yeah, so I'm looking down off this hill. I can see some of the buildings of downtown Syracuse. There's another hill in the way, so I can't see anything from Syracuse University. I could see a set of hills on kind of northeastern Syracuse, and a set of hills north, but I can actually see over those hills all the way north to, I'm pretty sure you could kind of see Lake Ontario, Lake Terry. I did visit Terry yesterday, and she was, I thought I tried to record one video, it didn't take, but her power and the temperature when so there was a lot of these kind of snow mounds that develop on the lake, and then so you couldn't get close to Terry, but you could be on the beach, and the wind coming off, and there were like the waves just smashing up against the snow mounds. So it was powerful. It was impressive. I guess if I was in a relationship with Terry, we would take a break in the winter because couldn't. Oh, entire flock of birds, small birds flying overhead. there's also a cawing bird. Not sure exactly, which type of bird. And now I'm headed into the woods a little bit. Can hear some ice. Oh yeah, let's take this path here. And we'll go up in the woods. And then we'll have gained all our elevation. So when I was a kid, these weren't my main woods, right? Because these woods are, to access them in the spring or summertime is like there's a, what do you call this place? Golf course. So you can't gain access to these woods without going on the golf course. And if you do that, you're not going to be, they don't want that. So, what is my point? My point is that the only time I would come to these woods is in the winter. But there's like these, I don't know, is it shale? Or these kind of little canyons made up of flat stones. I don't think it's limestone, but I think it might be shale. I don't know, maybe not. But flat stones that are cracked, and because there's water. But you don't get a lot of exposed rock in Syracuse, New York, unless you're looking. So even the idea of having like a 6-foot wall of exposed rock, I mean, to me, felt like, so I'm climbing up a little bit of an incline. So you hear my hands and my feet. Like, it was a big deal. Like, you were like, holy cow, man. This is like you would say, my version of Yosemite. But also when you do imaginative play, you can kind of really start to use your environment to tell a story that you're participating in. Oh wow, so there's even stone up here we'll go on it. Got some quality moss in here too. Hopefully will be the end of our, oh no, there's one more hill. Okay, almost the end of our elevation gain. But yeah, like big rocks even. Like, hear people talk about small town living, but what about small rock living? And then you get exposed to big rocks and you're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't go up here though, because, well, it's too late now. But I do understand what you're saying is like, you don't know where the gaps in the rocks are. Alright, so I'm going to go back. I'm going to follow. There's other paths that people have. I don't need to blaze my own path, I'm going to just follow somebody else's. So I'm following somebody else's footsteps. Somebody was walking their dog. And these footsteps were actually here yesterday too. Or 2 days ago. But yeah, so I can follow their footsteps instead of, and then I know how deep the snow is. I'm actually putting my shoes or boots, and they may have, I think maybe there's more than one person, or they used their boots, their path twice. You can see where their dog thing took breaks, and you can see really clearly, separate from these, rabbit tracks in the snow, and like, I don't know, I'm trying to see if I see any squirrel tracks to contrast them. So yeah, this would be a good woods for play, but yeah, only occasionally in the winter would it be in these woods, because usually if you're here, you'd be sledding. If you were sledding, you probably weren't gonna do any, what do you call it, woods activity, just because you're primarily like sledding and then walking up the hill. And so you're not distracted by the sledding, but that was occupying. You actually, when you sled, you can add imagination into it, but you don't have to. That's the nice thing about sledding. It has its own built-in excitement. So here's a thing I didn't know. Like, so to my right, about, I don't know, at least 3 football fields, maybe even further, is a apartment complex. Yeah, it's probably even further. But then to my left is woods and then the golf course. But the woods here are a little bit thicker. And I don't think today is the day. But I'm thinking that these woods, like how fully did I even explore these woods? I don't know. I actually lost the human path, but I'm off the stones, and I'm just following the dog's path, which is running parallel to the human path. Got another intersection. There's definitely deer out here somewhere. I haven't seen any deer tracks just yet. Okay, this is like, we got some boot marks here. So I could take a left here, follow these. Are these, is this a, oh no, yeah, these are boots. And dog. So I don't know, this is interesting as far as recording goes, because it's like, how are these boots? Oh, this person just came out here and then made a loop back. So that's not going to help us. I mean, did they know something? We don't know? Yeah. Those are stones. Okay, so, yeah, actually they took a little deep one there. So I'm going to stick to the known path, even though there's only been one other traveler here. It's interesting stuff. Got some more cawing action. And I don't know, how's this pace for everybody? I mean, I guess if you're walking on land, you could be taking this nice leisurely pace with me, or you could be going faster. Either way's fine. Won't bother me. Might bother those crows, though, or ravens. But yeah, here. Oh yeah, there are a couple of them above me. A couple more nests. Maybe one of them is their nest. They're saying, yo, sleep podcaster, we don't need you. I don't know, can they, how good are their eyes? Can they see me? Yes, they can. They're good. Yeah, we'll find out if your cause help people sleep or not. We did do that crossover with Science of Happiness podcast that talks about well-being and listening to bird songs and how the two are complement each other. And that listening to a podcast of Trudge in the Snow may or may not okay, we got more rocks, but I'm on a known path. But now I'm finding myself, I guess this is like it's not a rocky outcrop. I guess that's what I was talking about. It's like seeing rocky outcroppings. I guess you could say this is a rocky outcropping we're on, but it's only like 6 feet or 5 feet above the rest of the ground. But I'm just going to stick to these things because you just don't know where there's a gap in the rocks. And luckily someone went ahead of me. I just gotta keep saying it for myself, because otherwise Scoots the Adventurer takes over. And so I gotta keep reminding you, and so we remind him to not decide to take over. Let this person who came before us do the work. You don't need to totally head out. Let's see, what are we at? We're at 30 minutes, 0.8 miles. So I guess, yeah, we'll probably take us a mile, and then we'll head back in the other direction, because we're like right now, the only choice I have is turn around and go back where we came, or complete our journey on these rocky outcroppings, because now below us, well, now I am gonna come off this path a little bit, because I know this is solid ground. You don't know, but I strongly believe it's solid ground. Yeah, I think there's a path through this way, right? Yeah, this is a mound. And I think that's the way that guy went. You're just taking a different way. Oh, here's some... This dog or deer? Dog. What about this? This looks like squirrel, huh? And yeah, so we're up on the rocky outcropping. Don't worry, far from the, just like something that's so cool to me. I remember the first time we came here, and I was talking to my brother about it, because he's like, oh yeah, when me and my friends discovered this, it was like magic. Like, knowing that there's, I don't know if everybody could relate. Like, it's like, anybody that grew up in a small city or small town knows, like, you know, the few famous people, like, mean so much to you. I guess it's small city, small town pride. I mean, this is not, even for the city, this is like a small neighborhood pride, because it's like, it's really, I know there's, just from going on some other hikes, like, there's some pretty cool hikes you can go on in the central New York area now. Alright, so I think we will make our way down. Got a couple options, and this way the person who's walking their dog went, so... Yeah, hearing some noise. Huh. I don't know what that clacking is. But yeah, you can hear the birds. So now I'm going through like a thorn bush area, like thornless right now, or because they don't have leaves, much easier to navigate. In the summertime, this would also be impassable. But we're in for a treat. And yeah, we're going to pass. Okay, well, let me focus on where this person went. Luckily, they went before us to find our exit point for them and their dog. Oh, we got it. So, but right here, I think that's a willow tree, huh? I think so. We got a willow tree, and its branches are almost yellow, unless it's having an early bud or buds early, and those are like all the yellowish, greenish buds. And you can see another neighborhood houses. This limestone or slate quarry or whatever, or former quarry, I don't know what it was, continues on. And the woods continue on, so put it on my bucket list, man. I can't do, I guess in the snow too, I couldn't do many more miles, but I guess I could try to find a way in the summertime or the springtime. There are a couple ways in. You just gotta go in somebody's yard. But these woods, I guess, are technically connected to one of the two sets of woods I played in a lot. Now, they've never, I don't know if they've been featured in the podcast. I don't believe they have, versus the woods that have been featured in the podcast, which are a different set of woods from, we just re-released it, Pond Swimming. Those woods, I did record in there at some point. I don't know if that was a bonus episode or a public episode. That was at least 5 or 6 or 7 years ago. And then I've tried to get access to those woods, but it's just never worked out. Or a couple of people my brother knows live their houses back up against those woods. But either they've been too shy or the timing hasn't worked out. Alright, so we're still following this person's dogs. We're now back looking up at these stone. I think granite's rounder. I don't know. These are like flat, angular stones. They're actually a lot higher than I thought. I mean, I would say, now that I'm down on the bottom, like 15 feet, 20 feet. Not kind of thing you can climb. I guess even as a kid, we probably did try, but like, because it's like also very breakable stone, like, as a parent, I'd be like, no, don't climb this. Just because it's like the kind of stone that also crumbles. But it looks good, man. Hey, by the way, stone, you look good. You look real good. And some of it's got like moss, and not the green moss, like the more reddish, brownish moss. Good looking moss, but too. Keep up the great work. And yeah, just wonder, like with a walking episode, if it's okay for me to walk and not talk the entire time. Okay, we're at 0.95. We did start heading back. But with the intro, that'll give us like a quarter of a mile too. I guess the distance, it's a journey, right? Not the distance. The distance is part of the journey, and the journey is part of the distance. I got my mittens off, and part of me wants to unzip my coat, but I don't know if that's a great idea. But maybe I'll do it for a minute. I'm warm, but it's cold out. Temperature guess, I'd have to guess it's in the 30s, or I'd say 28 to 34 degrees. If it's a 20, it doesn't seem like anything's melting though. I don't know what freezing is, 32 or something. I would say it's not freezing, but I'm not sure about that. And it definitely snowed a lot because our tracks from the last time we were here. So I guess this person that walks their dog has come more than once, because our tracks from the last time we were here are not really visible. They're only faintly visible. Not invisible, but you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying, right? So I'm trudging. Oh, what is that? There's a tall tower. Is that a crane? Really tall. Too tall to be like a cell phone tower. Interesting. Probably is a crane doing some sort of construction. Oh, maybe I think there's something going on at the airport. Construction there. Okay, now I gotta get my bearings. I think I want to go this way because our path. Is this a dog? I guess maybe this is deer. No, I guess it's a dog. Maybe a dog with booties on. Just following these tracks. I think. I don't know. I'm not lost, but I am maybe misdirected as far as like which way we came last time. Maybe we came down through there. Don't exactly have my A game as far as descriptions go, so I guess I got to keep doing more and more of these. Or maybe this is okay. We just walk together. All right, let's zip up our coat. We're getting some wind. Yeah, we're just walking, we're talking. Oh, so what was I saying? So yeah, these woods that I was in, I think it connects. I don't think there's a gap. Yeah, there's no cross streets, so it probably is connected to these woods that I did spend a lot of time in. But they were like my secondary woods. One, because you had to be old enough, I had to get old enough to be able to cross the street. Because those woods, I would have had to cross the street. You'd had to find access. The main access point would have been this gap between these two houses that had a big field in between them. And then you could get into those woods. Now, the cool thing was that, I guess I don't, I wish this is where I do wish I had more facts. Up there in those woods, I think at some point they made it into a development, but there was like a bunch of rocks that were placed there, but like we're talking giant stones, like for some future use. They were just piled there, and you could kind of explore those because they were giant kind of rocks. I don't know, you use like as breakwater or something, but they're there my entire life, just left there. Clearly not natural though, but maybe they're cleared out when they're clearing out. Maybe that's like part of like the other developments, like they just like, oh, we find the big stones, put them in the big stone pile. So those were cool because you could go in there and get out of the heat. Do a little lunking of spells. I don't want to get too deep into it, for people, everybody's sleeping. But yeah, the reason those woods, the woods of my youth featured in those podcasts were accessible. Now they're no longer accessible. So the reason they used to be accessible is like we could go from our yard into our neighbor's yard, which I don't know when I talked about this, but it was it wasn't a thorn maze. Like they had an entire lot it was not accessible to the street, and it wasn't a backyard. But I mean, you're talking 50 by 50 square, 100 by 100 square of entirely wild pricker bushes, the entire thing. And the only people that would go in there, because it was, I don't know, it was just one gentleman at the time, but he wasn't going to be traipsing around in pricker bushes. It would just be me and my brother and sister, and you could go through those pricker bushes and eventually access another person's, like another back 40, you'd call it, and then get into the woods from there. But even the pricker bushes themselves were kind of like a woods, and then they had blackberries. In the blackberry season, you could just literally go back there. So I guess this is idyllic. That's why we're talking about it. And I realized how lucky I was to have a woods access. Because when I think about my daughter, she grew up in a much more urban area. If you wanted woods, you had to go hiking, right? And she doesn't have a woods of her youth, which is okay. It's just different strokes for different trees for different trees. So yeah, we're standing up here. We got a view. Got a couple different areas of. You can see two different reservoirs. One that has both an open reservoir and like a pump tower or reservoir, brick one. There's another area you could go sledding, and then a reservoir closer to that I guess you'd only go sledding on if you were visiting people, even though it's like literally a 10-minute drive, 5-minute drive, but that's like, it was pretty far growing up. You could see what's called another hill for Burnett Park. And the zoo's over there somewhere. Maybe that's the combination of the wind and the road. Mostly they think of road reflecting off the hills. But there's a little bit of wind. We got really lucky because I was like, would I be able to record what's a wind situation? And it's not bad. I wonder what that giant tower is, because it's not at the airport. I guess it's a radio tower. It is huge. We're looking at northeast. That is one big tower. I have to ask my brother about that. Oh, I can see the, is that right? Is that where I used to work? Or is that a different apartment building? Can't tell if that's the two apartment buildings I used to work at. I mean, that'd be the right place. Heading south out of Syracuse. Could be, or that could be Syracuse University. So yeah, I guess we check our time again. 45 minutes. Let me check my thing. I want to make sure we have, I always want to make sure we get a full recording, or as close to it as we can. Okay, breeze is picking up though, so it's saying Scoots, you're gonna have to keep moving whether you like it or not. So, I don't know though, I want to get, I guess you can stay on the edge of this woods. It looks like they moving the tree line back a little bit. There's some of these younger trees they've said goodbye to, but then there's a lot of older trees. Giant compost pile that I saw when I was location scouting, checking this area out. It was, I mean, it's like 20 feet high of trees and organic matter. We'll keep Frankie out of there. I guess that could be like Frankie Part 2 though, because I guess his original leaf-based being friend from our reading of it was only like normal human size, or a little bit larger than a normal human, where if you got access to this pile of compost, he can make something 100, 200 feet tall. That would be friendly, of course, and helpful. Okay. Trying to see. I don't really I'm not good at identifying things. So, there's cars going up that hill. I don't know what the hell that is. And let's listen, though, together. So you can hear the traffic. You can hear me breathing. You can hear you winding off. Let's just end this episode listening together with me commenting a little bit. Here's some more birds and stuff. I see two birds flying. They're not making a sound. There's another one. Oh, there we go. Strong caw game. And then you just heard that little tweet. This is nice, huh? Solitary, together. More birds moving. Loud, mufflerless vehicle. Some more kind of tweeting, barking. I always feel like chipmunks bark. Night type noise. And there's some wind passing through some branches and stuff. I don't know, it's like if you can feel it, it's like a slight chill breeze, but not bad. You can hear it there. It's like those are leaves that are still on the tree that are like leaves that are shriveled, but they're still stuck to the tree. on the branch, like banging up against the branch. They're doing it for us. That's cool. Thank you. Thank you, Leaves. Yeah, I think this is a nice way to end it. Thanks for listening. I hope this helped you out or put you at ease. I really appreciate listening to this show, and thanks for coming with me on a little walk. Good night.
Everybody, this is Scoots with a Talk You In message from someone who supports the show. And here's what it comes down to. If you're listening to me right now, do you listen to Sleep With Me on a regular basis? If the answer is no, don't worry about anything I'm going to say after this. Can you afford to support the show back at like $10, 27, 10, 20 bucks a month? If it's no, or if you don't have something like a subscription, you say, do I even use that? And that costs like $10 a month. I could be giving that to Sleep With Me. That makes my life better. But that's all it comes down to. Like, do you listen to Sleep With Me on a regular basis? Do you listen all night? If you listen all night, it can't be more critical that I get your attention. But yeah, if you listen to 2, 3, 4 episodes a week, like 10 episodes a month, the podcast actually makes your life better, and you count on the podcast. I got to tell you, we count on you to support the show back if you count on the podcast. People that just like listen casually, they don't count on the podcast like you do. And those are the people we need to support. We need to support the show back. We count on them. We count on listeners like you. So I'm going to read something from somebody that counts on the podcast and that supports the show back. But yeah, if all that is true, if Sleep With Me makes your life better, help us keep making your life better and support the show at sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. And this is Natalie from Ireland. I've been a supporter since 2017 or 18. I don't even remember how long it's been. I chose to support Sleep With Me because Scooter helped take my mind off the day's stressors. And something spoke to me about the creativity of the show. And I felt as a working artist, Scoot's art should be supported so others can listen when they need something to take their mind off of whatever they're feeling. So thank you, Natalie, for supporting the show. And I really appreciate it if you relate to what Natalie said. Think about supporting the show back at sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus.